The Jubilee Fund is the best example you'll ever meet of a community economic development agency. The Jubilee Fund is about community economic development.
The purpose of it is to assist people that have difficulties in getting financing. For example, it could be daycare centers, it could be businesses like bakeries, it could be restaurants, and it could be individuals that have a hard time. Either their credit has not been properly established, or we are sort of an alternative lender in terms of assisting these people.
Jubilee Fund is one of those resources that is available in the community for community-based projects to access that would allow them to then secure financing to realize their goal.
You know, they finance groups that normally wouldn't qualify for normal financing, so they take a little more of a risk with groups that are more community-based, whereas a lot of those groups most of the time don't even qualify for financing.
They're really connected with a lot of neat projects in Winnipeg. They help financing for a number of really important organizations with housing and daycares, involved with co-ops. Anything that helps me get my Tallgrass Prairie cinnamon buns in the morning is something that I want to support.
The Jubilee Fund has helped our organization by being there when we needed funds that we couldn't get from the bank.
Jubilee Fund has helped us financially to get a big piece of property on Main Street, and we're turning it into a community business complex.
We needed to raise funds to open up a new home. We have 3 deafblind individuals needing another home. So we did some fundraising, but we didn't meet the goals that we needed to. So Jubilee Fund was generous enough to help us out in that regard.
You know, for small business starting out, you know, every little bit helps. So they were able to give us a loan at a much reduced rate than if we would have just had to go through normal channels at the bank or the credit union.
This house behind us and one other one, we moved with a line of credit from the Jubilee Fund. We were able to save 4 houses from the new building project at the University of Winnipeg, and that way save resources and maintain good houses and make them available to people in the neighborhood.
I think it would make a major change in their lives because they are getting something that they never had before. Not only perhaps with regard to funding for something they want to do, but the recognition that they belong and that they are deserving of a boost of some kind. I don't think there's any amount of money that can compete with the heartfelt feeling that Rita and her group has for mankind.
The Jubilee Fund is a very valuable and very necessary resource for our community that continues to play an important role to help individuals strengthen and build their assets in their lives. But also wider to that would be to help strengthen and develop our community, whether it's social services or other areas that is so valuable to the quality of life that we enjoy here in our city.
It still brings tears to my eyes when I think about it, because we were almost like we were having to have to say we can't do this. And I went to the bank and I still remember the conversation with Stephanie, and she said, "You should talk to the Jubilee Fund." And I called them up and they just listened to the problem that we had. And immediately they said, after I'd finished this 20-minute rant about how difficult it was to get funds to build the center, I can't remember his name, but he said, "Well, I think we can help you. I'll come down and have a look at the situation tomorrow." Tomorrow, I said, "Oh, that's fantastic." And they just believed in what we were doing.
Jubilee Fund is really important to providing a lot of amazing supports for these kind of organizations that they're doing important work now, and they will continue to do amazing stuff in the future, and they're going to need institutions like the Jubilee Fund to provide that financing and allow them to expand and continue on with their programming.
We're toying with the idea of going into Wolseley neighborhood and doing what we do in that neighborhood. A lot of our membership comes out of Wolseley, so there's a huge interest in having Pollocks in that neighborhood. So once we're profitable, that's something we're probably going to look at.
So if we didn't have the Jubilee Fund helping us out, we wouldn't be at the stage we're at, opening up a new home. In probably about 3 weeks, we should be opening it up. We would have clients out there needing homes without a place to go. So it's been really beneficial for us.
But had the Jubilee Fund not been there, the centre would not have been built.
But thank you, Jubilee Fund and the Assiniboine Credit Union for working together with us just to make housing available to people in Spence neighborhood.
It's a very good fund. It's based on a godlike principle, and I think it certainly is succeeding.
We really are, more than nearly anything I've ever been involved in, really are helping people to help themselves.